Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Woodpeckers Deep Dive. My name's Jeff Ferris. Welcome to my shop. Today, we're going to take a closer look at Woodpeckers ClampZILLA and how to use that to deal with problems in doing wide panel glue-ups. All right, let's get started. So we got a pretty typical problem here with this glue-up. I've got some beautiful wide cherry planks. They're 7-8 inches wide, and my joiner is 6 inches. So they're not going to fit, and I'm not willing to cut them down to make them fit because we just have too much of a beautiful grain pattern to be cutting it up into 6-inch wide planks. So I want to get this glue up done with my 7 and 8 inch wide planks. But my boards have got a little bit of twist to them. Now, I'm making a coffee table. It doesn't need to be perfectly flat, but it does need to be smooth. And that's what we're going to work on, is making sure that in the end, our glue up is smooth. Perfectly flat, we want to get it as close as we can, but I'm not worried about perfection. I'm worried about smooth. Now, what that means is we need to get these pieces glued up edge to edge as close as we can. Now, how are we going to deal with this, the misalignment between these two pieces? Now, there's lots of ways we can do that. One of them is we can use dowels, biscuits, or domino splines to come in here, reference off the top surface of two pieces, and put an extra piece in there to keep the faces aligned properly. That's a great solution if you need to, but it does not strengthen the joint. That's one thing I want to make sure that we all understand. Adding a biscuit, dowel, or spline to that joint doesn't improve the strength of the joint. It only helps with alignment. So it's an extra step that we may not have to take if we have another way to get that joint put together flush without adding a spline. And we'll actually have a stronger joint. So what we're going to do to align these pieces instead of adding a spline in there is we're going to control the surface with the clamping pressure. That's what ClampZILLA does, is applying vertical pressure at the same time that it's applying lateral pressure. So the next thing we need to do here is cut our joints for these edges. I want to show you a couple of tricks that make this a lot simpler. One of them is once you have your panel laid out the way you want it, we're going to draw this with a triangle. Now, no matter how many pieces you have in your glue up, when you draw that triangle, it's pretty much impossible to put it together the wrong way. You can always look at that triangle and tell how things are supposed to be aligned. When we go to the joiner to make the edge cuts, I want to alternate the face that goes against the joiner fence. So this one is going to be on the fence, and this one is going to be off the fence. This one is going to be off the fence, and this was going to be on the fence. Okay? Now, I'll show you when we get through why we're doing that alternation. So on this one, we've got the F. So this is going to go against the fence. One more just to be sure. Now on this one, we're going to machine both edges, and both of them are off the fence. Now our final one is going to be with the mark on the fence again. Ideally, our joiner fence is perfectly square, but sometimes it's off. And even if it's off just a little bit, it can be a problem. unless you alternate faces. By alternating faces with this face against the fence on this cut and this face against the fence on the mating cut, that angle could be 5 degrees off and it wouldn't matter. When you put the joint together, it'll always be a perfect fit between the two boards. So alternating faces has created a good fit between the two joints. Now we're going to rely on ClampZILLA to bring the faces into alignment. So I've got my glue spread and we're ready to start applying pressure. Now we're going to start from the middle and work out. And sometimes the lateral pressure is a little faster than the vertical pressure. So I'm just going to kind of use my fingers here to make sure that the faces are in line as we tighten the clamp. Get those faces even, and the clamp will keep them there. And now we're going to start moving down toward the end. And then back to this end. Perfect there. Perfect there. Now we'll just go back and give each one of them a little snug up. And you can see that we've got nice squeeze out along the joints. And our tabletop is going to be just right. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed this closer look at Woodpeckers ClampZILLA and how to use it to glue up beautiful panels. If you enjoyed the show today, be sure and hit the subscription button and the notification bell. That way you'll know about every one of our videos in the future. And if you like to give us a thumbs up, we always appreciate that. If you'd like to buy ClampZILLA, there's a link down below that'll take you right to their ordering page on our website. And if you'd like to learn more details about it, there's a link right here to another video about ClampZILLA. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Woodpeckers Deep Dive.